Nico Pereira and Chanda Rubin here with you on TC. And for the second consecutive week in Cologne, Chanda, it's Sasha Zverev getting it done.
It was impressive from Zverev. He improved literally every match, each match of this week. And you look at that final and how dominant he was on serve, taking care of business on return and attacking second serves. That was a really comprehensive and confident effort.
I'm going to go as far as to say that's the best match I've ever seen him play. Wow. I expected a hard fight from Schwartzman. He had a tough one against Auger-Aliassime. You have to give it to him. They played last night, but he just did not have that pop on the ball, and Zverev took full advantage. Haven't seen him serve so well, so consistent, and the forehand was just like his old coach, Ivan Lendl.
We're going to talk about what kind of impact that match has on the race to London. But let's start where the day started in Ostrava. The battle of the Belarusians. It's Aryna Sabalenka and Victoria Azarenka. Let's look at what these two were coming in. Career high rank, both inside the top 10. Sabalenka at 22 years old and Azarenka at 31. But the year that Victoria Azarenka has put together has been impressive. A resurgence of her career and coming in with a lot of confidence. Both these players, Sabalenka actually the one who came from behind twice in this tournament alone just to get to the final. And Chanda, Sabalenka took that momentum and continued sailing into this one.
No, I mean, Azarenka, you look at the experience she has on the big stage, it's a couple of Grand Slam titles, but Sabalenka came out and was so focused on the ball, not on who she was playing. She's a big hitter with a lot of winners, and they were falling today. Fewer unforced errors for Sabalenka as well. And the first, handful of games, Azarenka just didn't have anywhere to go. She's one of the best competitors out there, but just couldn't get herself into this match enough, couldn't dictate enough time. Sabalenka, again, just stepping in and pummeling the ball. And Azarenka had maybe some physical issues. I think the trainer came out, maybe a migraine, type of issues. But in the end, a lot of that had to do with Sabalenka. When you wake up and you are just inundated right from the start, doesn't make you feel very good in a match. And Sabalenka, to her credit, was able to keep it going in spite of that injury timeout as well.
And here it was, Sabalenka with another big serve. The big story for the 22-year-old was that she converted 5 of 7 break points. And after the match, she did talk about the woman that she really looked up to growing up back in Belarus.
I would say the first 6 games was really tough. She played really well. She made me move like, I don't know, like whom. And after each point, I was really tired, and I was like, she pushed me a lot in this match. And after 6 games, I don't know what happened with her. But anyway, you have to stay focused. You have to keep thinking of what you're doing on the court, because like sometimes when you put your focus on the opponent, like when something wrong with her, then you can lose your game. So yeah, I just try to stay focused.
So Aryna Sabalenka, Nico, this was coming back against Coco Gauff after dropping that first set, was down 5-2 in the second, and eventually wins it in 3. Then Sara Sorribes Tormo, it was a 10 straight games to Sorribes Tormo, 12 straight to Sabalenka, but man, she really impressed in this final.
Well, anytime you're talking about someone that comes back from a 6-love, 4-love, and advantage to the other player, you've had a great week. But she not only won in singles, she won in doubles as well, and all over Azarenka. I was expecting a bit more of a fight from Azarenka, who still continues to improve, still continues to impress. But Aryna Sabalenka had a good week, I would say.
Yeah, and I think, she had a real good understanding of the moment. We talk about how big she plays, and, she kind of has one game and doesn't have anywhere to really go to when she goes off. But Sabalenka keeps fighting, and she understands how she needs to play her best against, opponents, different styles of opponents. And I think that came through big here today, because she just played confident in the big moments. Those first 5 or 6 games, she mentioned it, those were big. The fact that, she held her ground, held her nerve, and had a great start, that really influenced the rest of the match. And it was an impressive week from Sabalenka, losing 8 games today in 4 sets.
And you can really see the influence on an Azarenka to a young Sabalenka, because they are players that take it to you. And when she's on, like Chanda said, there's nothing you can do. And that was the case today.
Well, guys, look, we had 3 very young champions today in all 3 tournaments. And Sabalenka, at 22 years old, has put together a fantastic career already, has been inside the top 10. But Chanda, how about her 2020? How would you rate her season and what she's done?
I think it's been a little scratchy for everybody, obviously, being off for so many months in between. But, Sabalenka's come back out, and after this restart, had a few struggles, lost a tough match to Coco Gauff, came back, got a little revenge on that. She's been the player who's just kept fighting, kept battling. And you look at doubles as well, the fact that has helped her singles, the fact that she stays on the court, she's able to get these wins, even, when the singles isn't going quite as well as she would like. And it has paid some dividends. Comeback queen for sure, because she has battled in some matches this week and come back from behind.
So Sabalenka takes her second title of 2020, and we go to Antwerp, where Ugo Humbert was looking to do the same. Nico, he won in Auckland earlier this year. He saved 4 match points yesterday against Dan Evans, and he takes on Alex de Minaur today.
I love this young man. Actually, I love both of them, but I did the tournament that he won first in Auckland, and this one I got the pleasure to watch. And he's a mixture between Henri Leconte, the great French player from the past, a lefty, and another lefty. I have to go with Guy Forget, and it just reminds me of them. But today, this is a fast Antwerp court, and I just don't think that de Minaur had it in him. De Minaur had a 2.5-hour match against Dimitrov in a great semifinal matchup, which he pulled off yesterday, and I don't think he was all there in the first set. Second set, he came back, but we went to a tiebreak, and I think Humbert just took the initiative, was the aggressor, and on a fast court, if you have a player going front, going forward, I think he's the one that has the more chance of winning, and that was the case here. Second title of his career and of the year, and we are going to hear a lot more from this young man in the future.
2 final appearances, 2 titles, both coming this year, as Nico mentioned, for Ugo Humbert, who is going to move to a career-high rank towards that top 30 at just 22 years old. Chanda, another young budding star on tour.
Yeah, and he's got a fun game. It's an exciting game to watch because, obviously the serve was big today, and that's a big weapon for him. But he's got the flash with the forehand. He can come in, play in the midcourt area. And when you start racking up these types of wins, again, it gives you that confidence in your game in the big moments. One thing that he's getting little by little in his career.
He beat Pablo Carreño Busta in the second round, and that's a guy that doesn't fold easily, and that's a huge win. I think that gave him a lot of confidence going forward in this week. But today, against de Minaur, he took it from the start. That was very impressive, that first set. And then de Minaur wanted to come back. He's a greedy player. Love watching the Aussie, but he was just too good today, the Frenchman.
So de Minaur couldn't quite get the job done, but another solid showing for the young Australian as well, as de Minaur gets all the way to the final. Ugo Humbert, his second title of the year, as we look forward to what we've got in store for tomorrow right here on Tennis Channel, our featured matches. And, man, the slate for next week is going to be impressive. Chanda, just in Austria alone, 7 top 10 players in action.
It's unbelievable, the tough matchups right from the get-go. Everybody's trying to get those last weeks in, get some points, get some momentum towards the end of the year, and looking forward to these. We've got, the Americans up in action with Tiafoe and Fritz. They've got some tough matches, and then Monfils against Carreño Busta. That should be an interesting one. We haven't seen Monfils in a few weeks. Rublev playing great tennis, and looking forward to these matches.
The first 2 are in Kazakhstan. I'm intrigued of Francis Tiafoe, after winning the Challenger, playing well a couple of weeks ago, how he's going to fare going forward. I expect a lot from him. But then the Vienna event has a cutoff of number 31, and there you see names like Shapovalov, Rublev, Monfils, Borna Coric, Taylor Fritz. It's going to be a fantastic week. We're just finishing a good one with 3 events, but be aware, next week is going to be En Fuego.
And we will absolutely preview those 2 events coming up, but